Assalamu alaikum, dear students. It is 15th of June 2021, Tuesday. It is class 11th, subject education, dear students. Yesterday, we discussed non-formal agencies of education. What are the non-formal agencies of education? What is the difference between non-formal, informal, and formal agencies of education? It was discussed yesterday. And today we are going to discuss the non-formal agency of education, which is called distance education. Today our topic is distance education. It is one of the non-formal agencies of education. Dear students, distance education as a non-formal agency of education has come to stay. It has come to be accepted as a viable alternative to age-old practice of institutional teaching. Education through distance mode provides a second chance to pursue higher education to those who missed the opportunity of getting the same at their normal stage. Education through distance mode is the practice of learning at one's own pace, in one's own time, free from the bounds of formal classroom and without the formal presence of the subject teacher. The students' education through the distance mode may well be given the name correspondence education. Education through distance mode or correspondence is supplemented by personal contact programs, printed notes, journals, televised programs, and other audio-visual devices. The students, according to Rivi F. Iridos, he says, distance education or correspondence teaching is a method of teaching in which the teacher bears the responsibility of imparting knowledge and skill to a student who does not receive instruction orally but who studies in a place and at a time determined by his individual circumstances. The student's correspondence teaching should not be erroneously understood as synonymous with home study or self study. In correspondence education or distance education, there is some institution or authority which assumes the responsibility of coaching the pupils through different media. But home study, in its strict sense, means self study, and that too at a place other than where some sort of instruction is imparted in one way or the other. The student's correspondence teaching implies a teaching responsibility on the part of the institution or person offering the services. The term home study, with its emphasis on place of study, is sometimes interpreted in the restricted sense of self instruction. Dear students, according to Professor S.S. Chibb, the basic philosophy underlying correspondence education is very simple and is not alien to the Indian soil. It presupposes that education is not a once for all process, but it is a lifelong process. No one is too old, too shy, too big, too small to learn at any moment. No one is too knowledgeable to learn new ideas, methods, and concepts. One's inability to be a regular and residential student of a college or university campus or any other institution is no bar to learning. And above all, an adult is conscious of the loss of no learning, but if he is not, he could be made so. In a nutshell, the philosophy of distance education envisages or suggests the basic belief of the institution is in the dignity of the individual and in the opportunity for him to improve upon himself regardless of age, sex, social status, economic position, and geographic location. Dear students, what are the factors that necessitates this education through distance mode? Why people switch to distance mode? Dear students, there are some major factors which necessitates distance education. Number first is population explosion. Dear students, the second half of the present century has witnessed unprecedented growth rate of population. This has resulted in the corresponding increase in students. Although schools and colleges have opened at a quick rate, these have failed to catch up with increasing demands. Hence, the need for correspondence courses was felt. The students' explosion of knowledge. The recent years have witnessed what is generally called knowledge explosion. The rate at which knowledge has been growing in just stupendous. As a result, the knowledge acquired in schools and colleges soon becomes outdated. It has to be updated by some means of continuing education. This spells the need for correspondence education. Varied needs of varied clients of education. Education has come to be regarded as a sound national investment. Not only the number of client groups to be served by education has increased, but also there have been varied shades of client groups with their varied needs which cannot be fully satisfied by regular institutions. The centers of distance education became the only answer to such demands. Earning while learning. The rising cost of living has compelled many aspirants to earn while they learn. As such, they find it difficult to join regular schools and colleges, so they turn to evening courses or institutes of correspondence studies. Desire to improve qualification. With the increased complexity of all aspects of modern life, the educational requirements of various jobs have changed and new demands have come up. This has led to a persistent desire to improve one's qualifications. Correspondence courses provide opportunity to the people on jobs to improve their qualifications. Dear students, mobility of modern life. Modern life is much more mobile than it was years back. People have people move from one place to another place in search of better prospects. Business and industrial establishments have multiplied manifold in developing countries like India. This keeps the persons ever on the move. It is thus becoming increasingly difficult for many people to stick to regular distance education institutions to acquire academic degrees and diplomas. Institutions of distance education became the better source of instruction for people in such a situation. The students' desire for independent learning. The desire for independent learning with the advantage of studying at home, having an own time schedule of study and working at one's own place has also impelled many people to learn by distance mode. The students' education is thus achieved by this means, that is the distance mode, very easily, comfortably. And the students, it is the best alternative to learn, to acquire, to achieve knowledge. It is all for today, dear students. Bye. Assalamu alaikum.